Welcome to Real Talk at the Round Table with Coach William, Coach David Smith, and Coach Sandra Rivera. We are happy to bring you another episode here today.
That's right. We are excited that you guys are here. Sandra, I am excited to talk with you, get some of your experiences because from what I understand, you are a phenomenal coach and you have a wonderful, complete financial background. Tell us a little bit about that.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. So basically, I have been in the financial industry for quite some time. I started many years ago as a part-time teller and worked my way up to vice president, branch manager. And after I left the banking industry, then I went into cash logistics and I ran the fourth largest branch for Brinks in Houston. And then I needed some work-life balance, so I took a step back and went back to banking in a lower position so that I could take care of my special needs brother, get him in a group home. And after I lost my job there, I decided, time is precious, life is precious, and I didn't want to go back to working 20-hour days and craziness. And so I thought this would be a good opportunity to try to use some of my skill set to help others that are lost in the craziness of this world, not knowing what they're doing with their finances, and before they know it, they're in debt and lost and don't know how they got there. So that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, wow, that's powerful. And you did mention something very interesting that I want to hit on. This world is lost. This world is crazy. A lot of us are running around not having a clue on what we're doing with the money that we're working so hard for. So that brings me to a question. How do you use your banking background in your coaching?
How I use my background in my coaching?
Yeah, the things that you've learned being a banker for what, 30 years, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The good thing about it is I saw so much. And, in banking, you have to have excellent credit to be able to be helped, or at least pretty good credit. So I saw a lot of people that really needed help and couldn't get the help they needed. And then they go to these other places, I'm not going to mention them by name, but they charge them like 47% interest to get loans, to get deeper into debt, and it's not helping them. And so seeing all these things in good conscience, I just couldn't sit back and allow that to continue to happen without doing my part. And so I have learned throughout the years how to ask good questions, how to deep dive, get the buy-in, to get them to understand I'm here to help. And if they could trust me with the information, because it's really hard to share your journey and share where you are financially. When people come in to talk to you, they don't want to tell you how far in debt they are and where they're at. They just want help. And so in order to be able to help, you have to be able to share everything. And you just can't walk in and expect people to just open up to you. So you have to show that you care. And you know what they say, the saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes.
And so, you have to show that side. And it's not an act for me. I truly care. And when I see what people are going through, one of my gifts is the gift of empathy. And I used to argue with God and tell him, Lord, I don't like that one. Can we get another one? Because that one, it makes me feel like I'm weak because I cry at people's pain and stuff. And I don't like that. I would rather be, have the gift of leadership and the gift of, but that's not what the Lord gave me. And so having that gift does work when you use it right. And when you can cry with somebody when they're hurting and you can pray with them when they need it, um, that changes things because then they do know that you care. And so, even though I don't really like that gift, I'm thankful that this is the gift that the Lord has given me. And now that they know that I care, then they'll be able to open up more. I have seen back when I started in banking 100 years ago, we didn't have online access, right? So when somebody had come in with their social security number and open up an account, it was legit. It was a legit number. We could use it. Found out as things started to change that people would come in and they ruined their credit and they were bringing in their kids' social security cards to start accounts. Well, as time went on, we would be told, oh, well, that card was issued in 1980 and these people look like they're a little older than that. And so that helped us curve that. And then when we got online, then it would tell us, who it was assigned to and what year it was issued. So that stopped all that noise. But I mean, sometimes it's generational that people just had horrible credit. Their parents had horrible credit. They got horrible credit and they passed it on to their kids and they didn't understand how to control that. And now it's so important that you know the value of paying your bills on time, not overspending, living within your budget. And once you get to that point where it's like crazy, there is help. You're not doomed. We can help you, but you have to understand there's going to be a lot of work and you have to do that work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you said a key point is this ain't a get-rich-quick scheme, but it is a thing that with dedication and with time, you can make true results. So that's key. Don't come into this thinking it's going to change overnight. After all, it takes 21 days to change a habit. So you're in it for the long game. But we're going to make life changes, and it's going to be impactful for life.
Yeah, that's powerful. Something that you mentioned, Sandra, you said you have the gift of empathy, and it wasn't necessarily a gift that you wanted. It was a gift that was given to you. I think that's something very interesting how God does that. He gives us gifts, and He expects us to use them, unless we be like the servant with the talents. We don't want to be burying our gifts. We want to use them, and sometimes it causes some pain for us to use them. Can you think of a specific instance, an example, where you were in a session, or it doesn't have to be a session, but that's just one example you could use, that you exercised that gift? You cried with that client, and you led them through a tough situation.
Yes. Many years ago, I met a girl through Bible study, and she had a friend that her daughter was terminal, and she needed help. So people were volunteering different days to go and help her with her daughter. I had never met her daughter before, but she was 12 years old, and I volunteered for Thursday nights. So I went over there, and the little girl couldn't see anymore because the tumors were pushing her eyes. So they had like cellophane over her eyes. And so I'd go in there and I'd talk to her and I'd sing to her and I'd read to her, and became friends with her parents. And she had a little brother, and I remember taking him to Fiesta, Texas, but I was afraid for him to ride on any of the rides because I'm like, God forbid something happened to this child. When the little girl's name was Damaris, and when Damaris passed, it was just, it's just even hard to talk about years later. But, I cried with her family, and I loved them through it. And, her family, her father was in the military, so soon enough they moved. But I never forgot them because it was such a exhausting, gut-wrenching situation. But to be able to love them through, and they knew where my heart was, And I'm glad I could do that, but I don't want to do that again. I'm glad I could fill that hole that needed to be filled, but I don't know if I'm the right person to do that because I carry that, and it's tough, but it was so much tougher on them, so much tougher on them.
Well, and I definitely get that. I had a doctor, and especially in the medical field, you have to leave work at work and home at home. And one of my better doctors I had was a foot doctor, and she would actually take her work home, and she would always really think about the patients and really.
Hold on. She would take her patient's feet home with her?
If she could, I'm sure she would. And so she really tried to do the best, and she was always thinking of how else she can help them. That I started with her. I was with her for probably about 4 months. She was phenomenal, and she left because she couldn't take it no more. And her husband actually helped her get out of the practice, and she really didn't need to work, but her passion was to help. But she always took it home with her, and it got the best of her. And so it's key to be with them, to feel them, to really guide them. So that you have that connection. But I know the struggles of taking it home with you. You got to really be able to, you want to do some research, but you don't want to keep it with you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like that's where that firm boundary comes into play. Yeah. And, it gets easier with practice.
Yep.
It's like the coaching thing. And we can't want it more than our clients.
That's right.
Exactly. So, I have clients, give them their marching orders, give them the homework, or, after we finish our consultation or our session, then it's like, okay, so we're agreeing to do this, and then I need this information back by this time because we're going to meet this day and I need to do my homework. If you can't provide that for me, I'll meet with you, but I can't, I'll help as much as I can, but I can't do it for you. You have to commit, and you have to look at where you're spending and what you need to do about it. I can give you suggestions. In the banking world, my job was to look at the whole picture and then tell you what we needed to do. It's different in this world where I can give you suggestions. You might want to do this. You might want to do this. What works best for you? Are you committed to that? And okay, so next time we meet, what steps are you going to do so that we can see some baby steps as we move forward? I can't do it for you. So, I like the fact that I'm not. Go ahead.
That brings me a good question. When you said that what works for you, in the financial world, every successful person has a budget. A budget won't make you successful, but every single one that is successful has one. Every business has one. So with that being said, there's many tools out there that you can use. What is your favorite tool, and do you push on them, or do you just give them options?
I don't push anything on anybody. What I like to do is to have them look at what they're doing. Look at your statement and go through and highlight different things that you're spending. Look at subscriptions. Do you need that? I like you to, if you have the time, look at your, how much are you paying for your cable? How long have you been with them? Have you thought about calling and seeing what else you can get? Can you get more for less? My insurance, my car insurance, I never stay with the same car insurance for years and years and years. I learned that lesson a long time ago. And so when it comes time to renew, I start checking around. Who can give me a better deal? Why should I pay for the same thing if I can get it cheaper somewhere else? And it's the same thing. I compare apples to apples. And so I tell them, do that. Do you really need all that? For the longest time, I was paying for cable and for internet I never watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I paying for that? Well, it came as a bundle, but I don't watch TV. The only time I ever put TV on is when I have company. You guys want to watch something? Otherwise, I don't watch TV. I am too busy either listening to podcasts or listening to the Bible Online or David Jeremiah or Chuck Swindoll or whatever, but I'm not on TV. So why am I paying for it? So these are things that you have to look at. And so I help them see, do you use that? Why are you paying for it? Have you thought about getting rid of that? Personal decision. If you want it, fine, but these are things that you need to think about if you want to start paying stuff off. Why are you paying for a monthly subscription to Ipsy and getting all this cute little makeup every month that you don't use? Yes, you get cute little bags. Who cares? You don't need it. So it's just thinking outside the box and looking at every little thing. That's what I try to help them see, because there's so many tools out there, but I don't want to overwhelm them with that. Let's just start with basics. Let's just look and see where the money is going. Do you need it? What you can do to change that situation. And just in 1 month, if you cut out subscriptions and things you're not using, think of how much money you're saving.
Mm-hmm. This is a powerful coach, David.
Oh, yeah. Do you encourage them to, so I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have YouTube, I have Disney Plus.
You have the paid for YouTube? You do.
I'm just making something up.
This is not you.
No, this is
hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetical. And I have what else is out there? I have HBO, Cinemax,
Showtime's still out there?
Yeah, Showtime. So I have all these services. And how would you try to help me out?
I use them. Which one do you use the most? Which one gives you the most benefit? What do you get the most out of? And maybe get rid of the other ones. If you have 10, try to knock it down to 3.
Well, so I watch Netflix for the movies. I watch Hulu for the shows. Disney Plus for my kids. YouTube also has some fun things. I don't like commercials. But then we also like all the channels. So I have like Disney and HBO. I think I need them all.
Okay, so you need to make some sacrifices here, because your credit, you're $30,000 in debt, and when you get paid, you're already overdrawn, and you are starting off at the negative, but you have all these things that you don't need. Those are not needs. Let's look at needs. Yes, we have to entertain the kids, so maybe you want to keep Disney Plus, but you don't need all those other things. So you need to decide what you need and get rid of the others. And once you have everything under control and you want to add them back, then you may want to add them back slowly, but you're going to have to make some sacrifices to make some changes.
And I love that. In order to make a change, you have to make sacrifices.
Right.
If you do the same thing yesterday and expect to change, that's the definition of insanity.
Right.
So I like how you pulled that out. I know with me, I'm kind of a little bit brutal. My clients, I allow 1 subscription. Well, I need Disney and I need Netflix. You get 1. Which one's more important? You're in debt. You need to change them. Now we're going to find out how much you love those kids. Now there is a trick that I love. I will teach them a trick. So Will is a good friend of mine. Let's say he's family, okay? And I have Netflix and he has Hulu. So we can share. I only pay for 1, but I get to view 2. He only pays for 1, but he gets to view 2.
Right.
That's one trick that you can do with family members. You don't really want to do it too much with other people because,
sure,
you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Giving people access. But that is a trick. But yeah, I only allow people to have 1 subscription. Which one's more important?
Yeah.
But I like how you did it.
And yeah, Sandra, she was
cracking
the whip for sure.
Yeah.
That was good. And people need to hear that. People need to run up against a riverbank. We've got way too much freedom to do what is it really freedom if our freedom is bringing us into captivity, into bondage?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you know, all the way at the very beginning, freedom is what locked us. Well, if you eat of this tree, you will have all knowledge.
Come on.
You know, so I mean, he was giving us freedom,
right?
And he said you would surely die.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you won't surely die. You won't die right now, but you will die.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's like he had all the freedom in the world. Then all of a sudden, he lost it to get what he thought was freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He wanted to be like God. They wanted to be like God. Yeah. Know good and evil. You know, it's a double-edged sword, I think, because without the freedom of choice, there's no love. And remove consequence or the effects of free will and the consequences thereof, then you remove free will. You can't have one and not the other.
I didn't know you were free.
Right. Well, yeah, you know, we are in Christ Jesus.
No,
we are
free will.
Right? Bondage will and free will. Yeah,
that's right.
Free will. Wow, that was good. You got me there.
So the only reason I actually did that is because, like, sometimes in some of the commercials you guys seen, it's like, well, I will. So I just spin it back on you.
You know what they say?
Yes, they do.
Where there's a will,
there's David.
There's no way.
Sandra got it. There's David too. I like that one. I like that one too.
You know, so, but yeah, that makes a very good point. You know. So, and I like how precise and how you're not like you have to only do it this way, but you target right into them. It's like, okay, well, you got 10. Let's get down to 3.
Yeah.
Let's not rip off that Band-Aid like all at once. Let's rip it halfway and then slowly peel it back. You know,
right.
So I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, and I think that to have a really direct approach like you just delivered is extremely important, to also pair that with a very sweet, professional demeanor, because that's the first, impression that I got from talking with you. You're extremely sweet, polite. So, I'm not gonna lie, whenever you laid in, I'm like, okay, here we go. We're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what it kind of reminds me of? What you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So being in the South, we're in the South, and a lot of ladies, oh, love, you'll be good. Oh, sweetie, they all talk real nice. So they can be like, oh, you got to pay this bill, sweetie. You're like, okay, I'll pay it. They soften the blow with their kind words. They can get away with it in the South. In the North, you can't get away with that.
Everybody's just very direct in the North. Yeah. Very direct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have to be direct.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's, when I start to coach somebody during the first consultation, I let them know this is how I handle my consultations. And one of the things that I want to know is how you like to be coached. Do you want somebody that's direct? Do you want somebody to sugarcoat and kind of bring you in? How do you like to be held accountable? Do you want me to say, you didn't do this, you said you were going to do this? Or do you want me to say, hey, what happened? How can I help you? Because I don't want to scare you off. We want to do this together, but I need to know how you like to be spoken to. Mm-hmm. So that we can make sure we're in this together.
Yeah.
Because I can be brutal, but what's the result? I don't want you not coming to our calls anymore because you're like, wow, that was really brutal. She's not my boss. We don't need that. What we need is to get in this together. And it's like, okay, so you want me to hold you accountable. How do you want me to do that? So when I ask you to do this and you don't do it, and we show up and I'm like, hey, I sent you an email, I needed this, and now we're here and I don't have the information that I need, I don't want to waste your money. Okay, this is a ministry to me. Yes, I do want to earn a living, but I'm not taking your money. So are you in it to win it, or do we just cut our losses? Because I don't want you to keep paying me if you're not going to do what you're supposed to do, and we're just going to hang out. I'm going to be your therapist. I can be your therapist. but I don't feel good about doing that if I'm not helping you reach your goals.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to reach your goals? Are you going to jump in with both feet? Okay, so that was an off week. Okay, so now let's restart. Let's do this the right way, and let's finish this strong.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at, if you want to do this within a year, we've got to buckle down. We got to do some things, make some changes.
Yeah, I like how you're differentiating between, one client and the other client, because, we all are all very different. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. To one, brutal may be a breath of fresh air, exactly what we're looking for. To the other, that may be brutal. So we need to learn our clients. And I think that just the direct asking, hey, how would you like to be held accountable, is a powerful way to find out.
Yeah, 'cause we need that strike to change.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you need that strike?
Mm-hmm.
For instance, for those that know the DISC assessment, if you're a D, it's one way. If you're an S, it's a different way. So there's key points on knowing. Like me, I'm not a sugarcoater. If they need somebody to sugarcoat, hey, Will, can you help out? And I don't even know if you're a sugarcoater, but I'm more of a straight to the point. Let's get it done.
I came in as a high I, interactive. I'm a talker. I got literally, if nobody's there, I'm talking to myself. It's true. Okay. I talk a lot. These are your influencers, the high I's, and then right underneath that is a D. So that means I'm in inner conflict. A lot of times I'm debating on whether or not I'm going off on a tangent, or if I'm like sticking taskmaster straight to the point. And I like to walk that line there and have fun with it.
Well, that's why we work so good, because I'm more of the detailed person, and you're more of the people person.
Yeah, I am more of a free spirit. Yeah, for sure.
So with that being said, Sandra, what are you? Are you more of the detailed, got to have everything in place, or are you more of the, I like to call it fluffer? Are you more of a people person, try to make sure they're comfortable?
There's a little of both. I like having everything done. So I'm a planner. I'm an organizer. When I get together with my team, start off in the morning. This is our huddle. This is, what's on the plate for today. This is my appointments. This is yours. Okay, this is the goal for today. And what's your piece of the pie? And then after we all own it, and then we go off throughout the day, then I'm checking in. How are you doing today? How's things going? I'm finding out, I know that your mother was sick yesterday. How is she doing? And I just make sure that they know I'm engaged and I do care. But at the end of the day, we have numbers to make and we have things that we have to accomplish. So, maybe you missed work because of something. Okay, now you're here and let's jump in and take care of business. I'm empathetic and I will lend a kind ear, but we still have to get the job done. So I'm the one I've always been the door greeter, the people person. I'm the one that the customers would want to come and chat with. I'm the one that's the feel good, but at the same time, they also know that I'll get it done. Mm-hmm. So, my goal is to hit those goals, but not at the cost of the people. Mm-hmm. So if the team, you have to either get the buy-in or it's not worth it. I don't want to win at the cost of everybody hating coming to work. I want to win because we're all in it to win it, and we're loving it, and we're giving high fives, and we're so excited because we're hitting our goals, and so that's what, makes it. And that's why it's so important that you learn each person's personality. Mm-hmm. I've made the mistake in a group setting where I had one person really just blow their goals out of the water, and I recognize them in front of everybody, and I'm like, whoa, high five, yes. And later on, she's like, I hate to be called out in front of everybody. She was shy. And I was like, no. And I was like, I'll never do that to you again. I'm so sorry. I just wanted you to know that I appreciated mm-hmm. what you've done for the team, but I'll never do that to you again. Yeah. So you just learn. And so it's important to ask how they like to interact. Yeah. So having the different personalities, if you don't learn their personalities, you're not going to be effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Turns out treating others the way you want to be treated, isn't always as effective as it sounds. I love public praise. Do that to me, absolutely. Any day of the week, any time. Wake me up out of sleep and praise me. I think I would be fine with that. But not everybody likes that. So yeah, it's important that we meet them where they are.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, I was with this one lady, and we did the book, The 5 Love Languages.
Ooh.
To find out what is your love language, where are you at? Some people love affirmation. Some people, you don't have to say anything to me, I'm good.
There we go. Acts of service, words of affirmation, gift giving, physical touch, quality time. Bam.
Mm-hmm. So, and we all operate differently. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, but nobody has all of them.
No, oh no.
Okay, Will has all 5.
I mean, like to varying degrees, not like all 100%. I try to be well-rounded. Gift giving is something that I've got to be extremely intentional about. If you receive a gift from me, it's a big deal.
And with me, I love to give a gift. I hate to receive them.
You hate to receive gifts.
I hate to receive them. So on Christmas, if you ever watch me, it's hilarious. People give me gifts, I set them next to me, and when nobody's looking, I hurry up and open them all and set them in front of me. Like, oh, you didn't see me open them?
What about opening the gift is unenjoyable?
I hate being. This is going to sound funny, okay? But I hate being the center of attention.
Okay.
But I'm very outgoing. I love to go in people's face. I love to be there, but I like to help them. Don't worry about me. Right. So if it's gifts for me, I don't like it. I just hurry up and open them and send them next to me. But when I give you a gift, I'm like, oh yeah. When you open it up,
tell me you love it.
And so I love giving, and just like with helping, I love helping other people, but I hate receiving help. I'll give you.
Yeah, I want to do it myself.
Yeah, I'll give you all the money I have, but I don't want to take any money at all. That's just the type of person I am. Is I love giving, but you don't have to give me.
And then somehow that factors into treating others the way you want to be treated, because if you don't like to receive it, why would you be treating them that way?
Most people love to get gifts, so I'm feeding into what they like.
There.
But each person is different, and we do need to realize where they're at. That's one reason why I love the trick that you have. You have the trick of being very kind, but we got to get this job done. And that's the biggest key is when everything's said and done, we have a job. Now, one person doing that job, they're not going to get it done because they're going to be very slow. Things are always going to come up, whatever. You don't have somebody pushing at you and saying, hey, come on, how are we doing? Can I help? What do we need to get done? After all, what does team mean?
Together, everyone achieves more.
That's right. So when we work as a team, we conquer it. But when we work alone, there's so many distractions, so many things that happen, and we really struggle.
You get overwhelmed.
Yep. Yeah, alone we can go really fast. But as a team, we can go a little slower and get further.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is like I was saying, we can get more done, but we get more distracted and we don't have that encouraging. So it's like I'm going really fast, I get this done, but then I got sidetracked and I ended up doing all this, which one of the things might have actually been purposeful and all the others were, why was I even wasting my time? But when I have somebody like Sandra, okay, I love you, you're great, but we need to get this done. What are we doing? Then it's like, you know what? I need to get A, B, and C done. I'll get A done today, and then B I'll do tomorrow.
And you mentioned, David, just now, encouragement. Our culture, is lacking encouragement, real encouragement. I mean, we've got this fickle, fake stuff that's about an inch deep. Hey, you can do it. Maybe even throw in a I believe in you, but then we're never following it. We don't care, But when you work with a coach, it's real. We actually encourage you. I was just on the phone, actually on a Zoom call with a dear sister, another coach, and she was telling me all about the name of her coaching practice, Barnabas, the son of encouragement, the son of consolation. I love that, and we do. We live in a world that is lacking in encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
with that, how much does it assist you, Sandra?
Well, before you answer that question,
Okay, come on.
we are at the half point. So anybody
Okay.
in the room, if you have any questions, please post them and we will get them asked.
Yes.
Now, you want to repeat your question, Per?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, David. Come on with those questions. Yeah, so how much does it affect you as a person, Sandra, for an authority figure like a coach to come in and give you that encouragement, really believe in you, ask in detail about the things that you're going through, the hurdles that you're facing, the challenges, the milestones, celebrating those milestones whenever you reach them? Like, how far does that go with you?
Oh my gosh. When I was a youth, I was in judo. Got in judo, didn't know anything about judo, but my sensei was third in the world. He didn't play, but he saw potential. And so he would encourage, he would push, he would, he'd kill me. I'd get off that mat and I'd be like, what are you doing? My first tournament, I went in as a white belt and I was going against a black belt. Now, mind you, she was the daughter of a coach, so I don't know if she was really a black belt, but she had experience, okay? Yeah. And so I went in there, and he had motivated me so much, and he's like, you can do this. I know you can. I've taught you. You know this. You've got this. I went in there, and I just destroyed her. And when we got done, they finished the match, they gave it to me, and I was like, I was so pumped. And when I came over to the mat after I bowed out off the mat, he was there and he was hugging me, and this guy was like emotional, and he was hugging me. He's like, I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. And I was like, the next tournament, I was like, bring it. I'm ready, because he believed in me. There wasn't anything I couldn't do. And that's why I want to be, I think of a journey partner. My logo shows 2 feet, and it shows that we're in journey together. We're walking together, because I want to be the and the cheerleader, but understand as a coach, you have to hold them accountable as well. So you tell them the good and the bad. If you have the good coach is going to tell you what you're doing well, but he's also going to tell you what you need to work on. And if you need to work on it, he's going to help you work on it, but you got to put in work.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. Yeah. I'm just goosebumps over here, sister. You destroyed that. So did that mean that you automatically elevated to black belt after that match because you defeated a black belt? Is that the way that works? No,
No, you still have, no. I got a trophy, yay, but I still had to learn all the throws, all the holds, all the, all that stuff. And I still had to test for each belt as I went up. So you don't get it just because you beat somebody. You get some recognition, you get some respect. So as I went on to other tournaments, they'd be like, oh, well, she doesn't play. And so I went in there, even though as I was going in as a white belt, they already started to know who I was, because I went in there motivated, pumped, and I was going to go in there and give it my all.
Yeah.
So,
and you said a key point. Yeah, you said a key point, because I know, like, one time I was battling a third black belt level, and it was a fluke. But I don't say that. I just say I beat them. But the thing is, they looked away for a split second because they were looking. Somebody was saying something. They looked to their attention, and I got them, and I knocked them out. But it was a fluke. So the next time when I was in another battle, they were like, "Don't take your eyes off of him because you're going to lose." And I lost because I couldn't get an edge in because I was nowhere near their levels. But now they're paying attention to me, and now I couldn't get my edge in. So I definitely know what it is like being a white belt and nailing a black belt. And sometimes it's a fluke, a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Like for me, it was a once-in-a-lifetime. I couldn't even believe it happened. But it was wonderful how it happened. And it's because I had different kind of training. I know the pressure points. I know different things like that. And as soon as he gave me his attention away from me, I used it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that was,
Yeah.
you know, but like I
Mm-hmm.
know, like the
Absolutely.
Yoki, it's a move that if I give control of your thumb, I have control of your whole body. But all martial art people know that, and they don't let you get control of their hand. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so and I didn't. I'm not saying I got control of his hand because I didn't. I just, you know, I hit a pressure point and knocked him out. But it was because he looked away.
Right.
You know, but I don't tell people that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because then they're like, oh, you just got
Yeah,
it.
we'll take that credit.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you just got it because of a fluke, you know? It's like, it doesn't matter, it's still happening. You know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's key that, you know, you got to be alert. You got to be aware at all times, because just because they got a belt or just because they got a certain recognition doesn't mean nothing. Because that might have been a one-time thing.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
matter of fact, I know this one guy, he was an armed officer. He's equipped with a gun. He knows how to shoot it, all that kind of stuff. Well, in years, he's lost vision or whatever. I don't know what he's lost, but he can't qualify. And when he shoots, he does not qualify for what he needs. And so he knows a chief of police, and he got him to write a thing that said he qualified. So he paid him some money, and he got his credit that he needed, you know. So it doesn't matter if you have credentials or anything. It's how did you get those credentials? You know?
Exactly.
And what are you doing with
Yeah.
them?
Mm-hmm. If you lose sight, if you're not paying attention, anything can happen. You know, I had some family members from out of town come watch me for a judo match, and I was so excited, I lost sight.
Mm-hmm.
I lost that match. And the humiliation of losing that match in front of my family, I was like, that couldn't have happened. How could that happen? But it's because I was so full of myself.
Mm-hmm. Now, let
and
me
the fact
ask you,
that I've fought her before.
in that match,
Mm-hmm.
the person that beat you, were they a lower belt than you?
I don't remember, but I do remember that I had beaten them before.
Okay.
And so I took it for granted because I'm like, I've beaten her before. This is cake, you know? And now she caught me off guard, and she got me on the mat, and she got me in a chokehold.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get out, and I had to tap out. And that was just so humiliating. I was like, that'll never happen again. And I don't lose there. I better pay attention what's in front of me. So.
Yeah, that's key. Is, you know, I always got to pay attention. I know, like, I used to be good at shooting. I can, you know, hit a target real good. I used to be a real good person because I used to have to do that for a job. But now I got diabetes and my sight, you know, is wonderful. I can't shoot no more. You know, I mean, I know how to shoot, and I shoot in a general direction, but I can't hit my target no more, especially if my sugar is high. I'm lucky if I even touch you.
Remind me to never go hunting with you.
Well, I'm smart enough that I don't, you know, I don't do that. But especially if my sugar is high, I won't even touch a gun.
Right.
See, I'm one of the smart ones to know my limitations.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, no, that is key.
Yeah.
We need to know.
The higher the sugar, like sometimes I can't even see a stop sign like this, and you know how big those are. Yeah. But sometimes if my sugar is really high, my vision gets blurry.
Sure.
You know, it helps if I keep my sugar under control.
Right.
So turns out I shoot better with controlled sugar now.
It's true. Very true.
I don't know how we got off on that, but anyhow.
Well, you know, I'm just enjoying to hear these black belt stories and judo stories and all these things. I have zero experience in any of that, so I have really nothing to add to the conversation. But yeah, I'm enjoying listening.
Well, you know, you do have stories because you've been in competition. May not be karate, judo, anything like that, but you're a runner.
Sure.
And I'm sure you have stories of more experienced people and you walking on them.
You know, I like to solo run. It's a really spiritual event for me. I like to go and spend time with God. So no competition, other than with myself. I am in competition with myself. I was really bummed out Sunday. I ran. I did 9 miles, and I was after so much more. But I cannot tell you. I just ran out of gas. I was gassed. So I knew my limits. I respected my body, and I said, okay, I'm done.
And the funny thing, speaking of that, at my church, they're doing a 5K run coming up. And for people that know me, there's no way I could do a 5K run. No way I can even get the 5K done anytime in a day. But when we were talking, there's some of us, and I was like, I may not be able to run, but I can support you running. I actually thought of you, Will. I was like, I wish you were here because you could run.
Right. Yeah. I very much enjoy it. It's a freeing experience. It's almost like an unlock in your mind for me, and we go through this life and there's so much just crap, but then we get out there, and we plug into these healthy outlets. Running just happens to be one of mine, and get to spend some good quality time with the Father. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a social experience too, because I'm like seeing people I know driving by. I do a lot of run on the side of the street. You run towards traffic, by the way. If there's any runners like getting any good ideas, you don't run with traffic. You run against it.
Well, I know in some states it's law you have to run with it.
Well, in Tennessee,
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
I see if somebody's about to hit me, so I can
exactly
jump out of the way. Yeah.
I don't enjoy running. I do it out of necessity, for cardio, but I'd much rather lift. And so that's where my passion is. But years ago, I used to like riding bikes. And so when I lived in San Antonio, all the parks connect through trails. So I would just enjoy, like on a Saturday, I'd, drive or ride like 35 miles. And I was just like, that was so exhilarating. But I haven't done that in a long time. Here in Burke Burnett, along Wichita Falls, they have the 100-mile whatever. I could never do that. Or I could, train for it. But that's not something I want to do. But I would like to be like handing out waters and handing out oranges or bananas or whatever, just to encourage people to keep going. So I might do that.
Mm-hmm.
All about encouragement.
I like what you were saying. You were like, I don't like running, but I do it because I have to. And in my mind, I was like, well, why would you have to? And then right after that, as I was thinking, you were like, cardio. I'm like, okay. So I think our brains were on the same wavelength because you were answering already. But,
And the bear was chasing me, so. I only run if the bear's chasing me.
And I used to work a.
You know what King Solomon said? The wicked flee though nobody pursues.
Mm-hmm. And I used to work a job that people knew because I'm kind of like I'll say plump. I carry a keg all the time, and I don't run for nothing. And if you see me running, because of the job I had, do not run the same direction I'm running. Run the opposite because I'm running to the trouble. So if you see me running towards something, run the opposite way.
So why are you running?
You're running towards the fire.
I had to, because that was my job. I had to take care of things.
Got it.
So if most of the time I just walked everywhere, but if I had to run, you better run as well, but the opposite way.
I gotcha. So unless you're law enforcement, then they'll have your six.
Well, only police will have you. Other police will have you six. But other people should be running the other way. If you see cops, if you see cops running to a certain direction, run away. Mm-hmm. Because there's probably danger wherever they're going.
Right. They carry a gun and badge for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, the badge is complete, but the gun is powerful. They carry guns and tasers and whatever they can do to take care of the situation.
Well, they both act as a target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
God bless our law enforcement.
The good ones, at least. Yeah. Yes. I respect them. Go blue.
Yeah.
We got to back the blue, and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Turns out blue lives do matter.
For sure.
Amazing.
And in every crowd, there's some good ones and there's some corrupt ones. in every industry.
Yeah.
Don't let the
Everything.
corrupt ones destroy your mind because they need high respect.
Right.
Matter of fact, there was a
That's
time
right.
that they were saying defund the police, and one area the police pulled out of said, in this area, we will not go. You can have it.
Mm.
That was one of the most
Happened.
perfect places,
Yeah.
most crime, most shootings, most murders.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and the cops wouldn't go in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you don't want us? Okay,
Mhm.
good luck.
Right.
But you know, it's funny. They don't want them, but yet when they need them, where are you at?
Exactly right. You know, anybody that says they don't want law and order has no clue whatsoever what they're saying. They don't understand. You know, I mean, it's like I want utter and complete chaos. I want natural selection to reign, whoever has the biggest gun.
And that's not always a fact, because there's stories that this group of people were outnumbered, and there was 3 armies coming to attack them, and they were definitely outnumbered. And instead of grabbing swords and weapons and things like that, they grabbed trumpets.
Come on.
Because one trumpet meant you had a whole army of people. So when you had 300 trumpets, it sounded like there was more armies than what was coming in. They were like, we give up, we're going away.
I like that.
You know, so it's not necessarily the one with the bigger gun, it's the smarter one.
Sure.
You know, 'cause
Yeah.
you can outsmart them. For instance,
Yeah.
I was in a battle and I whomped on somebody that should have whomped on me, but it's because they looked away.
Right. Right.
You know, you got to be smarter.
And
You
it's always
can't be high up the prize.
intimidation.
Matter of fact, it reminds me of this thing. A guy was looking at the prize. When he took his eyes off the prize, he fell under. And he had to be picked up and says, ye of little faith.
Come on.
Why did you take your eyes off?
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, the waves were really blowing. Why did you take your eyes off?
Yeah.
You know,
It's powerful.
Yeah, he was already on
And
the
there,
way.
there's the man was, you know, he's reaching down and he's pulling him out, even though he took his eyes off.
You know.
Yes.
So I gotta say, I do have to say, Sandra, you are a powerful coach.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can feel it. You are going to be phenomenal. So, first of all, I'd like to thank each and every person for coming. We like to do a few things as we close up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like to talk about 3 things. And the first thing we're going to talk about is for coaches. We have an all-in-one community. I don't care what kind of a coach you are, whether you're a Ramsey coach, a Joel, he's not one, a Tony Robbins coach, ICF. I don't know where that came from. As long as you have a credential or certificate from anywhere, you are welcome into the community. It is powerful to be in a community where everybody can grow together.
Yep.
If I need some tax help, you know, I have a client and they're having tax issues. I'm not a tax attorney.
Right.
But we have a coach that used to be working for the IRS, and they are a professional tax person and a coach.
Yep.
We have coaches from all backgrounds and walks, and we all can use each other's talents and skills.
Right.
So joining the all-in-one community is the best thing. Matter of fact, we got some games going on in there.
Yeah.
We have some blueprints where you guys are getting tons of free stuff all the time.
That's right.
You know, so I mean, even if you join just for the activities, I mean, you're going to have fun.
Yeah, we do workshops, group coaching,
trainings. There's everything, and the blueprints to, you know, get you active and keep you active and give you free stuff.
Come on.
So that's the first thing we want to mention to you. The links are below. Make sure you join it. The second thing is we have an all-in-one program for all coaches. This here is going to take care of your mail dripping campaigns, your marketing. It's going to take care of your clients. It's going to take up every aspect of your business. And when you search all these things out, you're going to spend over $7,000.
Yeah.
So when you take
a year
per month, when you take care of all of these things, and it's under $200, I mean, that's a steal.
Right. You know, the power of AI is really extraordinary. If we're not utilizing it as solopreneurs, we're missing it. You know,
right.
and this is what this is.
Yep. And then the third thing we want to talk about is we have a really powerful connection. We talked a little bit about your spiritual sense. We have two awesome spiritual groups that we have going on, and there's many more going to be coming. So you can plug into a fellowship and get the support you need. Even if you don't ever say anything, you just feel the presence, or if you listen, whatever you want, you can get from there.
Yeah.
So that is the three things I wanted to mention. Now, all the links are below.
Sure.
And I want to give props to Sandra, and she has her link below as well. Sandra, talk about a little bit of what we're going to get when we click on your link.
Gosh, you're going to get honesty. You're going to get integrity. You're going to get. I'm going to help you, should you want the help, to get yourself.
Some technical difficulties trying to get the mic over here working. We're not able to hear anything, but it looks like that we are coming through. So please bear with us. Give us just a second. Thank you.
So all the links are below. Make sure you check out all the links that we have. Sandra has a very powerful website. Make sure you're tuned into Sandra. She's a powerful coach. And we thank each and every person for coming to the podcast, checking us out. Any final words?
Yeah, you know, we're not able to hear, I don't think, Sandra, but we did. We cut you off as you were speaking, and I think that our YouTube channel can still hear you. So if you want to come in and say a few words, you can just give us a thumbs up whenever you're finished, and then we'll close out. What do you say?
And so, we thank each and every person for coming, and we'll see you next time at the Real Talk at the round table, same bat time, same bat channel. Oh wait, no.